What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Dairyland Drive podcast. Collin, Mike, and Riley. It is a Sunday that we're recording this, and yes, football is back. Maybe not so pleasant for Packer fans after last night's ass kicking, but football is still back. I don't care win or loss. It's great to see the lights on at Lambeau and at least a little bit of fireworks. That we'll get to in a little bit. But Mike and Riley wrapping up our weekends. How the heck are we doing? Are we ready to break down some Packers game action for the first time in months, several months? It's got to feel a little bit good, even though maybe not many good things to talk about, but still, nonetheless, talking a little bit Packers and breaking the game down.
Yeah, I have a question right off the bat. You both went to training camp last week, right?
Yeah.
Did they actually practice days you went, or they just kind of fuck around?
Sure shit didn't look like it, did it? Sure shit didn't look like it. They had no interest. Yeah, no, the practice I went to was just helmets. I know Riley went to the two full pads practices, but yeah, my God, what the hell was that? Didn't even look, they had no interest of being there. Like the coaches or the players, no one, but yeah.
Yeah, there's no plan. So yeah, I don't really know what their goal was of what was going to happen last night. But yeah, practice for some reason had way more juice than a game, which I don't know whose fault that goes on to or what the hell. I don't know how that's even possible. But yeah, I think lack of interest, like Colin said, is the key word.
Yeah, I don't even know if you could put last night's game just compress it all into one word. Is there one word or a phrase that just comes to your mind right off the bat? Just waste of time. That's almost
Idiotic.
idiotic.
Idiotic. No, it's like the fact you roll out your franchise quarterback. Let's get this started with I'm not gonna say the Packers are gonna suck based on that. I was more pissed off just you're gonna roll out your top 10 paid quarterback. That's your entire team. Run a few outside zones, then fucking throw quick slants. Why is he out there? If that's all he's gonna do, why the fuck are you putting him in danger? You fucking morons! That's literally all he did. What was the point of him even playing last night? There was no deep shot to let's get this excited, let's give some rhythm. Nope. First play, let's run stick. Romeo Dobbs probably should have caught it. Sauce hit it out of his hand after he was turning. I don't even know if I count that a drop. That was just good coverage. And then the other ones just check down to Malik Heath, fucking full dipshit mode, drops it with I don't know what the fuck. He sucked. And then another slant to Dobbs, nothing. Slant to Golden. Golden's a stud. We already all knew that. Another slant. He draws pass interference. Let's run the ball a couple times. All right, cool. That's my game plan for my fucking high school quarterback that weighs 150 pounds on a Friday night as well. So that was cool. There was a lot of point to that last night.
And do you guys remember who was the coordinator calling plays last night? Was it Stenovich's turn this first game?
It was Steno last night.
It was Steno last night. Yeah, not a ton going on there those first couple series. Was not surprised that the number ones came back out for that second series. But yeah, not a whole lot difference, I think, from those first few plays. And yes, there was some drops mixed in there. Of course, it's not like the full roster. I know some skill position guys out, but you have pretty much your starting offensive line out there that maybe your week one starting offensive line. You got your starting quarterback. Josh Jacobs was out there for a few snaps and just no rhythm, whatsoever. And a lot of the same shit I think that we saw last year, like you said, just straight drops, slants, no flow. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just not showing anything yet. I'm hoping that's what it is. And again, I go back to last preseason where why I take preseason games worth kind of a grain of salt of the Packers got their absolute asses kicked by the Broncos, was just an ass kicking. And again, they for the most part put that behind them and obviously had, a playoff caliber season. So I'm not too worried. But I agree. I don't get the point of at least the offense being out there. The defense, I don't know. We can get to that in a little bit. Was a little discouraged of what I saw, maybe some individual guys and just how the Jets were able to move. But I think it's just plain and simple. Aaron Glenn had like his team was just ready to go. They were just revved up. He had his guys ready to play. They were more prepared, and like you could see that like in every single facet. Like there was the first half, it was super hard to try to find something positive out of it. Like if you just every single play. Like the one positive was probably like a 7-yard slant to Matthew Golden. That maybe was like the one of the positives, and then maybe some of the play of the defensive guys. But God, the Jets just kind of made it just an absolute ass kicking, and making it very hard to kind of get some positives out of the first half. Second half, they bounced back a little bit, and there were some guys I think that stood out. But Mike, your perspective. I mean, you haven't really said your word or phrase yet. We got idiotic. I had kind of wasted time for me, and I was thinking about going to the game last minute because tickets got down to like under $10. Was gonna be like, yeah, maybe we'll just go and get like 50 yard line for $10. I am glad I did not do that. That would have been really pissed me off. But your perspective, Mike, what's kind of your word or phrase or just overall thought of what the hell we watched last night?
Sloppy, lifeless, ugly, ugly. It kind of felt like both sides of the line got the better of them. The Jets got the better of them on each side of the ball in the trenches. Yeah, the drops are super annoying. Malik Heath certainly didn't do himself any favors last night, but at the same time, he's probably kind of battling for one of those wide receiver spots with Mecole Hardman, and Buddy sure didn't help himself last night either, muffing that punt.
And a drop. And I think he had a drop as well on offense. So yeah.
Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, just I'm I don't I don't think any of us here give a shit about the score. I don't know if anyone really does. I'm looking more at like process, play style. Everything just kind of seemed clunky last night, disjointed. Not really physical. At tackling the ball carrier. I don't know. It was ugly. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. I mean, if you can break down the stats, I mean, I don't want to get too much into it, but like 403 to 188 in total yards. I mean, the Jets ran 21 more plays. So, like, yes, like the result, I don't think is a big thing, but the Packers offense only running 47 plays. I'm sure LaFleur wanted to see a little bit more from the offense and get a little bit more of evaluation from guys. The defense, he got plenty of evaluation because the Jets seemed like they went on at least, 3-4 drives that were double-digit plays, at least 60, 70 yards. So he got to see a lot of, reps from some of those defensive guys. And again, we can get into that because I think that was some of the positives, at least from my perspective from the game, was on the defensive side of the ball. If you're just looking at the Packers, like it's tough to like have any positives from it. But I think there was some like good things on that side of the ball. I think Nazir Stackhouse, I think, played well again. I think Warren Brinson played well on that side of the defensive line, and in general, I think some of that second unit guys I think played really well. Bretton Cox played good. Kingsley and Nick Barry I thought played well. So I don't think it was like a complete like toss the film out. I think there's some good stuff there that I'm sure Jeff Hafley is more gonna like. I think his press conference earlier today, he singled some guys out as well of who he thought. One of the more fascinating things that I noticed, and I want to get your guys' take on this as well. Bo Melton taken off the shoulder pads in the helmet and was wearing a ball cap by mid-third quarter. Typically, those guys in preseason games, those are like almost roster locks. Like those guys that are already have the pads off are just kind of on the sidelines, just there. Bo Melton was there like mid-third quarter. Had that. Is there anything to take away from that? And again, I don't know if anybody else on the second team. I'd have to go back and maybe watch some of the Packers broadcasts to see if anyone else was on the second team was on the sidelines. But I thought that was kind of interesting that he, a guy that's just playing this position for the first time since what, high school, college, like didn't maybe see it through and get a full game's worth of reps. Like that guy had his stuff off on the sideline in a ball cap midway through the third quarter, which I found interesting. So I don't know what your guys' take is on that, or just anything in general on defense. Because like I said, I think that was maybe more of the positive takeaways from last night with some of the guys and how they played.
Do you have his snap count on you by chance?
Bo Melton.
It felt like, if you don't, it's fine. It felt like he was out there quite a bit last night, like from the jump. I don't know. Some people are speculating like he's got a roster spot locked up already because of that, which I don't think is unfair speculation. I don't know that I'm gonna put him in that category just yet. Let's see what he does next 2 preseason games. Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, like you said, that's fair speculation. I would assume. I don't know why. But yeah, I think he was in there from the second series on, so he played plenty in the first half. So maybe they just wanted to go full on young guys, to see. But yeah, I don't know. I could also see them where they see him as the fourth corner on the team, and they're not really too worried about it just because of his special teams prowess as well. But yeah, I like the 2 inside young guys, Brinson and Stackhouse. I think they're both playing better than Brooks and Wooden. Yeah, I don't know. The only thing that stood out to me last night, just because it's been the issue that we've talked about in years past, is there's no pass rush. That's just not going to happen. They're not going to get a pass rush. Jets offensive line is not known for being good. They were not good last year. They had a rookie out there, and he stood his ground against Rashawn Gary just fine. So if I'm going to take anything from the game, I'm not going to freak out yet because I'm sure there's some stuff we haven't seen. And I think a lot of the overall just lack of knowing what the fuck was going on has to do with the fact that McKinney wasn't out there calling all the checks. They don't have a leader out there, mixed in with the fact that Quay, which I have said I don't want him calling the defense, but it obviously shows that McDuffie and Edge are not capable of fucking checking and telling people what fucking coverage in, because half the field was doing cover 2, half the field was doing cover 3 multiple times last night, is bumping jobs and responsibilities because they would motion and the Packers wouldn't, because they're in zone obviously, and just basic coverages, and they just were not communicating at all. I think I'm going to put about, like I said, 75% that's because McKinney wasn't out there, which shows how important he is and how much he communicates. He controls everything. And then the other 25 is Quay not being out there as the guy that calls everything. But yeah, I'm going to take anything from it. My concern with the defense would just be the fact that there's no fucking pass rush, and it's probably not going to change. Like they just don't have, it came from the inside. Wyatt and Clark, I thought, played well. Like we said multiple times, Brinson and Stackhouse. Other than those 4, I don't know if I'd say anybody really I thought played well, well defensively. I mean, I think a couple, Mike's guy played pretty good. Welch played pretty good at linebackers, in there playing the run like a backup. So I just don't know if anybody just straight up played well other than those 4 defensive guys inside.
What was your impression of Isaiah Simmons last night? Riley, you've been pretty high on him going into camp here. There was one play last night where they completed a pass over the middle, I think it was, to the tight end or fullback. And you can see he's dropping out, and him and Keyshawn are right next to each other. Is that Simmons thing? Is that product of McKinney not being out there, like you just mentioned, not communicating? What do you think?
But that was actually neither of their faults. It just looked really dumb because I ran into each other. They checked the cover 3, so Nixon should have had deep third. I don't know what the fuck Nixon was doing in the middle of the field. Simmons was just dropping to his hash, and the running back crossed in front of both of them, so it made them look like they were both being dipshits. But actually, whoever was the other linebacker on that side is whose zone he was running into technically. So it just perfect shot to make them both look dumb, but technically the only one that was wrong there was Nixon, and wherever the hell the other linebacker should have been. I don't know. I don't know why the fuck they were playing I'm not. That's gonna piss me off. I love Halfley, but he's gonna piss me off. He's just gonna drop in his zone. Like, it's fucking preseason. Can we figure out what backup corners can play man? Why are we fucking running zone? Hobbs is already out. Like, this is the time where you fucking play the young guys, play Bo Melton, press, and see if he can actually guard somebody. But no, let's just fucking drop in some base ass zones for no fucking reason. Which again does not help with why I want Simmons on the field. You're either gonna blitz the motherfucker or you're gonna make him play man on a fucking tight end. What's the point of fucking playing a 4-3 linebacker just to drop into a zone and sit there? You're not using his athleticism at all. Any fucking linebacker can drop into a fucking zone and do nothing. I don't get the prayer. Maybe he's just trying not to show anything. He's just like trying to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna run zone like we did last year because we can't get a pass rush. And I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. That is just dumb last night. I don't know what the plan was. I don't know if I can really judge. Like I said, the only thing on defense I'm gonna judge is like I just don't see a pass rush, and that just freaks me the fuck out. Not a positive outlook in my opinion, but nothing else. I don't think anything else we saw offensively or defensively last night is what they're actually going to do, which is why was my initial word was idiotic of why the fuck are you playing the starters if you're not going to even try to practice? Why you have 2 joint practices coming up, just fucking do shit then. I don't know why. I just don't know why they put him out there if they weren't going to do anything.
Yeah, I think another insane thing too is Simmons is on the punt team. He is like a gunner on the outside as a linebacker, which is like absurd to me. I think I saw there's like 0.1 or 0.01% of like gunner snaps last year were from like the linebacker position. So I think that just kind of shows, like you talked about, the athleticism and the speed that he has. So yeah, just kind of figuring out, and maybe that's what it was, just kind of seeing maybe what he can and can't do, but you should hopefully know that by now. But yeah, I guess we'll see what Halfley takes away from it. On the other side of the ball, yeah, it was rough. Let's talk positive though. Matthew Golden, again, not a ton of snaps, but he looks like he belongs, doesn't he? Just like the confidence is there. Like I don't know if I loved it or didn't love it. Like Jordan Love went after Sauce like 3 or 4 times, like did not give a shit. Again, it was like the same route, I think, all 4 times on slants. But he went his direction quite a bit. Golden, his reception wasn't on Sauce, but then he did draw a pass interference on him. But he looks like he belongs. He looks like he's going to be a big part of the offense. I think the training wheels are non-existent. I think he's going to get thrown in game 1 and have a big role. Did last night's performance, even though it was just 1 catch for 7 yards, but just maybe how he was utilizing the offense, at least from what we saw last night, just kind of keep the excitement up. Or where are you at with Matthew Golden after kind of his debut and what you saw there in the limited action?
Yeah, I mean, he's the only one that caught a fucking pass last night. Like, I have no real confidence in any of the other receivers really being consistent. I mean, it was only 1 catch, but I mean, he still made a tough catch. So I don't know. I feel like he's probably going to be like their best receiver already.
Yeah, easily their best receiver based on what, unless Wicks or Reed come back from their injuries, whenever that is, and do something. Yeah, he's a stud. He's their best receiver. It is what it is. He's going to be a problem for teams as long as anybody else can be a threat. Which I mean, once Kraft's full going and stuff like that, and whatever, I think it'll be a lot better, and teams have to worry about Jacobs running the ball. Otherwise, I don't know if anybody really helped himself. I think Fitzpatrick at tight end is going to easily solidify himself as the 3rd tight end, and I mean, I think he's better than fucking Musgrave. Musgrave sucks. His one down the middle of the field when he jumped literally over a second early, he wasn't going to catch it anyways. But like, this just goes to my like, he has no ball skills. He can't track a ball. Why did he jump that early? Like, he was hitting the ground from his jump, and the ball just went over his head. Like, he has no ability to track a ball. I don't get it. And then obviously Johnson at running back. I said that last week, and he's so fucking fast, dude. And he just goes a million miles an hour. He's downhill fucking fast. I don't think he's going to make the team. I would assume he'll be the practice squad guy. Hopefully nobody steals him, but he's a fucking like firecracker.
Yeah, could Could these like fringe receivers though have like hurt their chances or made things at least more stressful and more difficult of like who's going to be that whatever it is, fifth, sixth wide receiver on the roster? Like Malik Heath, awful night. McCole Hardman, awful night. And really that was it. Then it's just a bunch of backup guys that are maybe fighting for the practice squad. So didn't do any favors on that. The quarterbacks, I thought all four of them were like terrible. Um, Jordan Love
I think
was not good. Malik Willis just looked not comfortable whatsoever. Let me say Jordan Love wasn't bad. He just never got in a rhythm. Like it
Jordan
was
Love
just
was bad. He was bad.
yeah.
Jordan Love was bad. He was not accurate. He was not accurate. He was not accurate in his passes, his slants, stuff like that. They were all low or high. There's nothing. The only good one was the one that Golden caught.
Yeah, I mean it's tough though.
His scrambling was not good. He was not comfortable. Like it wasn't outward. When he used mobility, he literally almost fucking tore his ACL. Like the same shit for the Eagles last year in that one. Like he's just so awkward back there. That was just like run or no.
Yeah, that is scary. It looked like he wanted to, but didn't want to, and like thought about it, and then just kind of like gave in for the sack. But yeah, I don't know. He just obviously never got in a rhythm. Like the whole offense didn't get in a rhythm, but like all the quarterbacks, Malik Willis, 4 for 9, 39 yards. Taylor Algersma, 3 for 4, 24. Sean Clifford, 2 for 4, 14. Jordan Love, 1 for 5 for 7 yards. So the quarterbacks combined were 10 for 22 for 64 yards. So it's tough to like get evaluation on them because I think the whole offense sucked. But I don't know. Malik Willis, he was a little inaccurate. I thought he was held on to the ball like that sack fumble. I think he held on to the ball way too long there. So was a little kind of disappointed in that just because it seemed like he's had a decent camp so far. But again, first game action and however. But I want to talk about the running backs. Amar Johnson, he's going to get himself in the conversation. I hope he gets himself some more like reps potentially with the ones and twos if these guys, or at least with the ones if these guys are going to be out a little bit. But how about Abin or however you say his name, Abin Kanda or Wakanda forever, returning kicks. We saw that aspect of his game. I thought he did pretty well. Like he held up pretty well. I mean the starting field position for the Packers was probably right around the 30-ish. So I think he averaged. I'd have to look at his exact yardage, but I don't know. Those two, I know Riley talked about explosiveness. Chris Brooks, we saw a little bit of Chris Brooks. If you don't think Chris Brooks isn't making the roster, I almost think he's a lock at this point. In my mind, like he has to be on the 53. The big question is, again, I don't think Emmanuel Wilson's making. I think he's done. Marshawn Lloyd, like he's got to stay on the field longer than 3 days with pads on for I think us to be serious consideration. Those two of Wakanda, I'm just going to call him Wakanda for now until I hear his name and pronounce it right. Wakanda and Omar Johnson, like I don't know, like they're a little more juice back there behind Jacobs, but yeah, I liked what I saw from both of them last night, and again, in the return game as well, because Cole Hardman is not a good kick returner. I don't know if Keyshawn Nixon's going to return kicks. We don't really know like what's up with that. I don't know who else is going to. So if that's something that he can maybe add to his game, that he could be be tough to keep off the 53 if he can do that and make that impact. But just thoughts on any of those guys.
Yeah, I liked what I saw out of Amar Johnson. He was one of the few bright spots on offense last night, getting that 39-yard touchdown, breaking some tackles, showing the breakaway speed to the end zone there.
Got to change 46 though. If he's going to make the roster, we got to get him a new number. I don't know if I'm a fan of the 46 number.
Are you someone that also hates the 22 on Matthew Golden too?
No, I don't mind 22 on Matthew Golden. I just think 46 is like a long snapper or I don't know, some freshman running back that's like dressing varsity that might get some tick at the end of the game in high school. Like I need 46. I think I need a little better number than that.
Okay, well, that's fair. Other than the number, I liked what I saw of Amar Johnson. So hopefully he can stick around either on the 53 or on the practice squad for sure. And I agree. I think Brooks has got his spot locked up too.
Yeah, Brooks is the easy number 2, and like I say, if there's a real game tomorrow and they had to come out, like, I would be pissed off if Johnson wasn't the third running back dressed. I don't know if he would be, but I would personally be, like, pissed off if he wasn't. He's just so explosive. Yeah, I think as Colin says, Wakanda, he played all right. I don't know. I would like to see Amar Johnson back there and Savion back there returning some kicks. I think those are two explosive guys. Savion has been able to stay healthy, so whatever the hell is happening there, but and I think now that I think back, I think at practice, Amar was getting some like he was taking some turns back there and kick return. He didn't last night, obviously. I don't know if he will the rest of the preseason after seeing that flash and stuff to see if that can be a way he makes the team as well as like a benefit. But yeah, I don't know. I would say if he's willing to do some more special team stuff, like punt coverage, kick coverage, stuff like that, if he can return some kicks as the third running back, I'd be his way on. Especially if Marshawn Lloyd can't come back. I think it all. I think the number 3 running back spot gets very, very interesting if Marshawn Lloyd can't come back. If he does come back, I think those top 3 are pretty clear cut. But if Lloyd stays out for an extended period of time or can't come back, that third running back spot is very interesting to watch the rest of camp.
Speaking of special teams, before we get to the O-line, because that's what I want to kind of wrap it up with, Brandon McManus, 46-yarder right down the middle, piped his extra point as well, so he stays hot. Daniel Whalen in mid-season form. The one was just an absolute launched a rocket. Like it was like inside like the 5 or 10 yard line where the guy caught it. I think he had a long of 63, but he had 52-yard average of his 6 punts. So love to see that for Daniel Whalen. Offensive line, good chance. If Jordan Morgan keeps progressing like potentially maybe seeing, good chance that might be the starting offensive line week 1. I would not be shocked depending what Rasheed Walker, where he's at with his recovery and injury. I don't know. From my perspective, I thought Jordan Morgan did okay. I thought he held up for the most part. I didn't have any issues with him. I think he got a lot of tick. I mean, he played with Malik Willis past those first couple series with the ones. Yeah, just like overall, the depth still concerns me. Like Jacob Monk, holy shit! Like
He stunk out loud.
what a bad freaking game that you have, and that guy's been getting reps with the ones at center guard, so that just like makes me super nervous as shit. And then I don't know, Belton I thought was okay. I think got beat a couple times. I think he had like a holding penalty. I don't know. Have we seen enough? Let's get fucking Belton inside. Let's start getting him some reps here. Like my goodness. Sean Ryan was just like, man. I don't know. It was very underwhelming from what I saw from the offensive line. Like I thought the bright spot, I thought Jordan Morgan played well at left tackle. Like that was kind of my takeaway from everyone else. But I think the concerns last week's episode was where's the offensive line at? That's kind of our biggest worry. And last night I don't think helped make me feel any better about that worry. It just kind of continues until these next couple weeks. But what were your perspective from the O-line? But yeah, goddamn, Jacob Monk. You're gonna hear his name again in a little bit in the final drive, I think. But what an awful night.
Is he even gonna make the roster? Like, I think their intentions with him were kind of to be like the backup center when they initially drafted him, right? Because I think he played center at Duke coming out of college.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I understand, he hasn't even been getting reps at center. It's been Sean Ryan that's been moved in as the backup center. And Monk is sliding in at right guard now. So is it just like a last-ditch effort to see, like, can he stick anywhere? Like, he was awful last night. Stunk out loud, like I said.
Yeah, I don't. If Monk's, which I don't. Yeah, I just don't know what you do. Like, I don't know how you go watch film. Like, if he can't play, which obviously after gonna based off of last night, he can't play. Like, they have no depth inside, especially if Morgan's gonna stay left tackle. Like, if you take out Monk, he's their only backup center and guard. If you really truly think about it, like who could they put in if one of those top 3 guys get hurt and Morgan's staying out there? The answer is fucking Belton has to go to guard and Ryan would be your backup center. But I don't know. They're not fucking putting him inside for some. I don't know why they drafted him in the second round if he's just going to be the 4th tackle. Why do they do that? That makes no sense. That pisses me off like beyond measure. But like Collin said, he's Pass pro, not good. He's not that guy. Run blocking, he was fucking good last night. Like, he had highlights. There's highlights all over Twitter of him pancaking guys. Can we fucking just put him? What are we doing? Put him at guard. There's like literally a run of putting big, slower tackles at guard right now. The Eagles made it famous last year. Other teams are doing it with slower tackles now. Can we just put him at right guard and let him compete with Sean Ryan? Because Sean Ryan, like Colin said, Sean Ryan's very average. And now that Monk is completely dead, in my opinion, of actually doing anything, they literally have nobody. They have, if one of those 3 inside guys go down, they are fucked. There's fucking nobody. Like, nobody in the entire roster like that can actually function in a real NFL game without just completely getting embarrassed every single play. Oh yeah, I don't know. The only option for me is to move Belton inside. Unless you're just gonna keep fucking around once Rasheed Walker's healthy and doing shit with Morgan. So who the fuck knows? I don't know what their plan is. The first group last night, like I thought they played fine. There's no, I mean, just the rest of the team. I'm not going to blame them. There's no fire. I mean, when they did run they ran base run plays. It was just inside, outside zone. They were getting 3 or 4 yards a pop with Brooks, and he's not like an explosive running back like that. He just runs hard. So I don't know. Them getting 4 yards a carry with an average running back against the first defense, I was fine with. I like that Elton Jenkins and Zach Tom are ready to fucking fight about nothing. So I like their fire. Oh, it gives me confidence to know that when a game actually, like, they actually give a shit about being there, like, I think the offensive line will be fine. But like I said, I've said, I don't know. I don't like Sean Ryan that much. I think he's average at best, which is fine. But yeah, they got to figure out this depth thing and what the fuck they're doing because they don't have any.
Yeah, and my final thing I want to mention too with Belton, which I don't understand, is a lot of his reps and tick has been at like right tackle. I think he played a lot of right tackle last night. So like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, you just signed a right tackle for almost historic amount that you have locked in. So why is he getting reps at right tackle? Like, there's just no plan for him really. If you want, you can't really play him at left tackle because you just drafted a guy the year before potentially to play left tackle long term. So like you said, why are you drafting a guy in the second round and playing him on the outside when realistically, you have a guy that you just signed long term that you really like, Zach Tom, and then this other guy, Jordan Morgan, is potentially the left tackle of the future that you drafted before. So to me, it just doesn't make any sense of what they're doing. Like I said, like, how is he not getting any reps at all? Like, even with like the fucking threes with Clifford or El Gersma, how is Belton not getting any right guard reps? Is just mind boggling and baffling to me. But hopefully, maybe it's just an evaluation period still. Like, maybe they're really seeing what he's got at tackle and wanting to get some film out there themselves. And maybe last night was, I don't know. Like, it's tough. It's tough to like defend the coaches of what they're seeing. It just doesn't make sense to me either because there's like no real clear shot of him getting on the field. Like, even fast forward to next year, like if you still think he's a tackle, you still have Zach Tom, you still have Jordan Morgan. Exactly. The next few years, like, where is he going to go? Is he just going to be your backup swing tackle, like off the bench, a second round pick? So, like, to me, it just like makes no sense of like the reps that he is getting right now. And I don't know, it just keeps getting like weirder and weirder with that. But yeah, anything else you wanted to add to that?
I was just gonna say, like what you just said, like it literally. And Gooey just came out with a comment last week because people were going at him about like, what are we doing? He's like, and he literally made a comment like, oh, we like to watch our young guys develop and just see like okay, if Belton does develop, like that means if he plays, that means Jordan Morgan sucks at left tackle. So you'll look like a fucking idiot regardless. You just locked in Zach Tom for 4 years. Let's say Jordan Morgan figures it out and that is actually worth the fuck, so we don't have to like trash on Goody. Okay. He's a first-round pick. That means he has a 4-year contract plus a team option, which if he's good, they're going to pick it up. So Tom and Morgan both have 4 more years with the Packers, best case scenario, at both tackles. Why the fuck did you just draft a right tackle then? Or a left, like a backup tackle, if that's where you're going to. Why did you waste a second-round pick on a 4-year backup tackle if that's all your plan is? That fucking makes no sense. They can say it's for depth. You seriously wasted a second-round pick on the swing tackle? You just wasted a second-round pick on a 4-year swing tackle that might never fucking play. There's like that makes what I don't understand what's that. That's the dumbest thing that they could have ever done. And maybe that wasn't Goody's vision, and this is pure coaching staff. But usually, It seems like Goody has a pretty big stranglehold on what the fuck these players are supposed to go or whatever, but maybe not. And he's just putting talent in there and it's actually all on the floor. So I don't know. I'm going to say that, I don't know. I'm at a loss of words in that situation because this is one of the dumber things that has ever transpired. In usually the Packers seem like they have it like, oh, they have a long-term plan and everything. I don't know what makes, like, by the time his contract's up, so is the other two tackles. So who are you going to like? It just makes no sense.
We're manifesting some right guard reps starting this week. All this talk and frustration. He's going to get his first reps at guard this week. Probably not, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll manifest it. But okay. Any other closing thoughts before we get to some Spotify comments from this last week? Riley, I know you were at camp for a couple days. Was there any like big takeaways from you before the shit performance last night? Any fun things or little nuggets or tidbits that you saw or liked from the Tuesday and Wednesday practice?
Just that it seemed like the fucking both sides of the ball they tried so much harder in practice, which makes no sense to me because I mean, I love football. I love playing football, but fucking football practice kind of sucks. So, like, the fact that they have so much more juice during that than an actual game in front of thousands and thousands of people in Lambeau, I don't know. It just makes no sense. I don't know. The defense was a million times faster. Like I was saying last week on the podcast, and it followed true with the two things I said. Romeo Dobbs has been on a fucking heater in practice. Like, he's fucking unguardable, playing at a different speed. Then he goes in the game and just fucking sucks, basically. So, yeah, I don't know. Those are the two things that stuck out to me, is how fast the defense thought they looked. And then Romeo Dobbs was on a heater. Both of those are now completely dead in my mind until further notice. So those are the two things that I can think of off the top of my head right now that stuck out.
All right, let's get to these comments. We got two this week. One from Sam, listener of the show, fan of the show. And then Logan, first ever comments on Spotify. So I'll read them both because Logan kind of answered Sam a little bit, but we'll get to your guys' take. Sam says, all I've been hearing about Watson, which is Christian Watson, is how great the rehab has been going and that they think he will be near 100% sooner rather than later. With some of you all able to head to camp this week, did you get that feeling like he was progressing great in the comeback, seeing him move in person? Then Logan responded, Watson has been looking good. He was running sprints, doing cuts with the rehab group. Didn't feel like he was holding back. I'm sure the Packers will be cautious with him and not bring him back sooner than the bye. On another note, the defense looks dominant every day at practice. The linebacking core of Cooper, Walker, and Simmons has the potential to do some crazy things this year in Hafley's defense. So, Christian Watson, Riley, you got to see him a little bit. I got to see him running around a little bit. Doesn't even look like he's hurt. Just the way he's moving. I know everyone talks about how he's just an alien, and just like this whole rehab process has been going a lot smoother, a lot faster than expected. It's the Packers' way. They're not going to rush it back. Like, that's just not how it's going to go. But the positive side, he is, doing sprints on the side. He looks good. He looks healthy. Like, if you were in a coma, like, for the last year, like, you would probably never know that Christian Watson got hurt, the lower leg injury. But just your thoughts on that, and what do you think with Watson? What do you think is the goal of his return? Or where do you think is like a realistic maybe target date that we could potentially maybe see Christian Watson? I'm not even say game. I'm just thinking about like practice, because I think that's probably the next step, is for him to potentially get back and practicing in some capacity. What do you think the timeline maybe looks at, like at that on like maybe the optimistic side?
Well, I think he could practice tomorrow. I think he would if you'd let him. I think he'll be back by week 5. Just be off those first 4 weeks, and then they'll reactivate him and he'll go, or he should, unless there's something I'm missing. Because I saw the same stuff. He was just running, doing sprints, pulling the sled. He was doing cuts, down and backs. Just, I don't know. He looks fine. I didn't do everything. I mean, they're worried about is his cutting ability and his ACL, obviously, if it can hold or not, or something in the inside snaps or whatever. But he looks completely fine, and taking a hit really shouldn't hinder that. That's not usually how those go. So I don't know. But yeah, they'll be cautious, but I don't see any reason unless something negative happens that he won't be playing and whatever activated and ready to go and by week 5.
Mike, when do you want to see him back? From your perspective, when would you like to see him back? Obviously week 1, but like realistic timeline, do you want him back as soon as possible, or do you want them to play it safe for him and make sure he's fully ready to go?
Both. I mean, I want them to play it safe and make sure he's right and ready, but I want him to be there as soon as possible. I would optimistically, I think after the bye, just hearing everything that we've heard about how well he's rehabbing the week after the bye, I think optimistically is realistic. Um, I do wonder, like, if part of his rehab process, I think before last year, I think he went down to Madison for his hamstring issues, right?
Mhm.
So going through this ACL surgery, they probably want to make sure that his strength and his legs and his hamstrings is all good there too, so he doesn't reoccur with those injuries post rehab, post surgery. So I think that's probably factoring into it a little bit as well, making sure he's right there. But yeah, if all is going as well as they say it is, I think the week after the bye is a possibility.
Yeah. And I think he could take the offense to a whole nother level of excitement if he's able to come back and be, just a shell of what he was, pre-injury, or, the stretch that he had before he got hurt. He was playing really well, those, 3 or 4 games leading up to the injury. And then, yeah, the second part of Logan's comment, I think we've talked about it. Cooper Walker Simmons, I mean, speed. Riley said it's probably the fastest ever linebacking core in the history of the NFL potentially. There's a lot of weapons for Hafley to play with, so it'd be interesting to see how that kind of all plays out. But yeah, Sam, Logan, thanks for commenting. Keep commenting, keep listening. We really do appreciate reading that. But it is time for the final drive, and we're just going to keep it a little simple this week. Basically, we're just going to do our biggest winners and biggest losers for the preseason. And you can kind of take it however you want. If your biggest winner is, you know, helping their chance to make the roster or giving them a game ball, however you want to do it on the winner and the loser side, doesn't matter to me. But we will start with you, Mike. Let's start on the good side of things. Who was your biggest winner, or who would get your game ball after that ass kicking last night that you were pleased with? I think from their performance.
I think Amar Johnson's kind of an obvious one for me, but so I'm gonna go a little bit different. I thought the coverage teams on punt and kickoff did a pretty good job last night. So I like the way they played.
Riley.
My winner, I'm gonna go with Nazir Stackhouse. I think he all but locked in a roster spot as one of the backup defensive tackles. Just yeah, being the true run stopper that he is, taking over for the hole that Slayton left as he left in free agency. And just Wooden and Brooks really aren't either of those aren't really those guys. Like they're not third and short guys. They're more pass rushing defensive tackles. So I think he is by far probably the second best. He's probably better than Devontae Wyatt as a run stuffer. So just solidifying himself is something that they don't have and that they really need if he's for him to make the roster.
Yeah. I have a couple winners. I don't know if you guys have any more as well. I don't want to cheat the system here, but my winner is Jordan Morgan. I thought Jordan Morgan did well. I mean, that's like his first ever game starting at left tackle for the Packers, right? At least starting with the ones. So I thought he held up well. The Jets ones were out there as well. So I think that's a step in the right direction, and should make at least Packer fans optimistic of what he can do and what the ceiling potentially could be. So hopefully he kind of builds on that. And kind of similar to Mike, Daniel Whalen, like I said, he's my other big winner. Dude's in midseason form. Like if you can get a punter over 50 and change fields, that really, really helps things out. So love what I saw there. On the other end, though, I think there could be a lot of options. Biggest losers from the game last night. We'll start with you, Mike. If you have one or multiple, who was your biggest loser or losers from last night?
Uh I was gonna go with Malik Heath and McCole Hardman, but they kind of canceled each other out just because they were both so shitty last night. So I'm gonna go with the guy I said before, stunk out loud, Jacob Monk. Just getting worked, two or three holding penalties. God, he looked fucking bad last night. Like, I don't know. I almost don't need to see him on my team anymore.
Riley.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with one of the two guys Mike said first. I'm gonna go with McCole Hardman. Like we've talked about, like his main role would be as a returner, and like not even getting a return, let alone muffing it. Like, well, I don't. He's no benefit to. And like I want to say Malik Heath because he did suck, but with the fact that Wicks has been hurt and now Reed's in a fucking boot until who knows when. LaFleur was all weird about if he's even you back for week 1 last night, and then you have Watson still out. Like I don't if Reed or those guys can't come back, I don't see a world where you whether Malik Heath sucks or not, what you did last night, like he's probably going to make the team just because he knows the offense the best at anybody else. So I'm not going to go with him. That's why I'm just going to solely target McCole Hardman because like his job on the team, he fucking literally failed the worst possible way. So
Yeah. I don't know if this is a cop out. My biggest loser from last night was Matt LaFleur. Just because I don't think he had his team ready to go. And it's just tough to get an evaluation to know like truly where you are when you're just not ready to go in every facet. Like you could say Stenovich, but I don't think that's fair to him just because I don't know, it all comes down to the head coach. And now you're going to have I think I was listening to a podcast earlier today that there was already a fire Matt LaFleur tweet 4 minutes into the first preseason game. So you know things aren't going well the first quarter if you already have Packer fans tweeting that out. But like Riley said, figure it out. If you're gonna get the ones, some reps in game action, like make it worth it. Let's at least see a little bit more than what we saw, very vanilla on both sides last night. Let's get them fucking ready to play. If it's not preseason action for the rest of the year, if it's just these next 2 joint practices at least, I want to see some good things. And hopefully the guys a little bit more fired up. Because yeah, that was just a shit show last night, and maybe even the biggest loser. How about the Packer fans that actually went to the game at Lambeau? My goodness, I feel bad for them. Again, preseason tickets not overly expensive, but if you take a big family there, that's a couple $100 trip. I would not have been too happy with that result. So, biggest winners, biggest losers. Any final thoughts from the first Packers preseason game or just this last week in general in the football world?
Flush it, flush it, move on.
Flush it, move on.
Do better this week.
All right, let's see a little bit better against the Colts and Seahawks here coming up these next couple of weeks. Sports world in general, like I said, I know we're recording this on a Sunday. Golf is going on, I know right now, so we can't really get too much into it. Riley, you have practice, I believe, starting. Is it this week, right? Tomorrow. Illinois high school football. The journey begins to hoist the state championship. I think Wisconsin started this past week. They start. It's still crazy to me that Wisconsin high school football has 2 games before they even get into school, just because of the whole like Labor Day thing. So good for some kids, I'm sure. But yeah, defending champs Bayport. Going to open against Middleton at home, so we'll see how they do in year 2 under the new coach Steve Jorgensen. But Mike, any closing thoughts from your end?
Nope,
Quiet.
not really. Quiet week. Yep.
Yeah, Riley, anything from you?
well, like I said, practice starts tomorrow. School starts on Thursday. Kids the next Monday. We open the season with the Wisconsin team, so I guess we'll see the Illinois versus Wisconsin, see how that goes. And yeah, a lot of anticipation for this year. Nobody listens to this probably gives a shit, but a lot of pressure in the town that I'm in for football this year. So we'll see how that goes.
Who's the team that you're opening up with, Riley, from Wisconsin?
Benton, Sholesburg, Scales Mountain, like a small tri-op down in the southwest corner of the state.
We're probably more.
Never heard of them.
We say we're probably more familiar with them than Mike is. They're like tucked away all the way down there. But yeah, football at all levels returning here. High school football, college football right around the corner in the next few weeks, and then NFL as well. On the other football pitch, Premier League returns next weekend. Nice, bright and early 6:30 a.m. game on Saturday for Aston Villa against Newcastle. So very, very excited to rip the coffee and watch that at 6:30 in the morning. Wrexham, tough loss. Like Riley was texting Riley, said, "Welcome to the big boy league." They gave up 2 goals in the 90th and the 96th minute to lose points on the road, but still, that was when they let get away. And then Birmingham City, who's also Tom Brady is a partial owner. They gave up a late goal as well against Ipswich Town. So the U.S. celebrities, a little rough start on the opening weekends in the world of football. So like I said, it is not League One or League Two anymore. You are in the big leagues, which a lot of people say the championship is a very tough league to play in and get out of. So very interesting. It's fucking Snoop Dogg's in that. Got a stake in a team in that league as well. There you go. You have to, is it like Swansea City or something like that? Mike, maybe you have to jump on that train for Snoop Dogg in the championship league this year.
What do you think? What do you think? Bournemouth loses 5-0 this week or 6-1?
They'll get it.
That's JJ Watt's squad, isn't it?
No, that's Burnley. Bournemouth is my team. Burnley is JJ Watt.
They'll get a goal. I think. We'll say 5-1.
Give up 6.
Give up 6. Yeah, we'll see. All right, well, let's get out of here. Once again, everyone, thanks for listening to the Dairyland Drive podcast. Keep giving those 5-star reviews. Keep sharing us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, however you listen to your podcast. We enjoy all of our listeners. Again, keep commenting. We like going through those every week as well. But as always, Collin, Mike, and Riley, thanks for listening to another episode. We will see you next week.
Love y'all.